Peace, peace, peace. What's going on, my peoples? It's your boy, Black Sincere 7, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, Florida edition. But y'all already knew that by me sitting outside. I had a video call with a few of y'all today. Y'all was like, oh, you're not in Detroit right now. Nah, clearly I'm not, and I'm sorry. I ain't stunting on you. I'm just saying it's nice where I'm at. But yo, I've been having some dope conversations today. I have really been enjoying myself, man. I've been enjoying every single person I've talked to today. Has been dope. And when I be sitting and kicking it with my peoples, all types of things be coming to mind and all types of things is said. And a lovely analogy came during the conversation. Um, would you rebury a treasure? You know what I'm saying? So, like, what are we talking about? All right, so dig. You know what I'm saying? You growing up and you hearing the legends. You're hearing the legends about this treasure. You know what I'm saying? That everybody in your village knows about. Everybody's familiar. Everybody's heard about it. You've heard the legends. We grow up on legends. Then you get older and come to find out that somebody in your family was connected to somebody who was connected to this buried treasure, and they left you a map. Wait a minute. Out of everybody on the planet, you telling me I have a map to the buried treasure? Yeah. Man, whatever. You have somebody check and it's like, no, I've heard the map was real. The stories is legit. You have the map. And you're like, what? So you go on a what? A quest. You go on a quest to find this legendary treasure. You go over mountains and through valleys and oh my goodness, you go through the most. And you find the spot at where this treasure is supposed to be hidden. And you start to dig. And you dig. And you do hit upon something and there it is. This legendary treasure that we've all heard about. Pull it out. You pull it out and you open it up and oh, it is everything that the legend said it was. It's all in there, right there in front of you. What do? You close it, put it back in the hole, cover it up, and you walk away, right? Like you found it. You found the treasure. Like you found it. You did everything. You found it. You unburied it. It was real. It was treasure. You put it back in the hole, cover it back up, and take your ass back home, right? Right? I bury treasure all the time. Ask Oye about his burial ceremony. Okay, now I'm gonna tell y'all I'm on StreamYard, so all it says is Facebook user. Tell me who that is I'm talking to. So for those of y'all who following me, y'all probably going, wait, what the f is he talking about? Why did he got all the way there and did some stupid shit? Why the hell would you put it back in the hole and cover it back up? No, put it in your bag and take it home. Right? Now go and what do you do now, right? That Makosi, peace, peace, Queen. Makosi, I had no idea who I was talking to. Pardon myself, Queen. Um, so yeah, like, so what I'm trying to say about that story is that those people who find that treasure and bury it back, right? Y'all just told me that's silly. That why would you do that? Well, that is the same as going on an entheogenic experience with a plant teacher or a animal teacher or fungi teacher, and then not reintegrating that, not integrating that. Like you just come out of it and you go back to your daily life and you cover it back up. That was it. Like you can tell people about the time you found buried treasure. Did it change your life? No. Did it change where you live? No. Did it? Why? Because a lot of us go on our sacred plant or fungi or animal journeys, and then we come back and bury the treasure up. That's what happens when you don't do proper integration. And Oh my goodness, right? Like, doesn't that make so much sense? Like, okay, this is how I explain. This is how I've been explaining for a long time when you go on a high growing mushroom trip. Mission Impossible. Remember the TV show? Not the movie. The TV show, Mission Impossible. And it used to come on, and the guy would walk up to a bar and he'd order a drink. Let me get a martini. And he'd turn around, like, imagine the outside tiki bars. And he turns around, and when he turns back around to get his drink, there's a computer in front of him. And he presses play. And then the computer is like, your mission, should you choose to accept. And then it goes on to explain this impossible ass mission. You got to get here and do this without these people seeing, and all before noon tomorrow. And then it says, this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. And then the guy turns around, he puts his glasses on, and he walks off all cool, and then the computer starts blowing up, and everybody starts and running and stuff, and he's just like, And then it cuts to a commercial. Let me explain. That is taking a high-gram mushroom trip. You ordered something, you turned around, and organic technology gave you your mission, should you choose to accept. And then it told you this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds. What they're saying is, once you wake up, you can't press rewind. You can't go back and get this information again. You can't do none of that. In 5 seconds, you're going to not forget, but you're going to lose contact with all of this. All right? So, boom, you turn around and then you wake up. It's time for the mission. It's time to accomplish what you've been instructed to do. I would advise you to take good notes as soon as you come out. And what do I mean by take good notes? Integration. That's what integration is about. It's taking the experience that you just went through and learning how to pay attention to it, set some intentions from it, and then have direction after it. That is what integration is about. That is what going on high gram mushroom journeys and returning back is about. Okay? So I just wanted to come, and we're going to talk about a few things. This isn't the end, but I wanted to start off with that. I wanted to start off with giving you the understanding that there's people who are, since 2020, I keep saying that there's been an entheogenic explosion, and that is okay. But what we have is a lot of people who just started in these realms that are now sharing information, sharing teaching, sharing products, and all of these things haven't been vetted. And that's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just the reality of things. So me, as being a 15-year plus veteran taught by Baba Kalende, Baba Mudu, as well as my own experiences over years, I am just coming to offer another way to look at a conglomerate of ideas that are being shared. If you want to go to somebody who has been doing this for 2 years and has not been in over 10 mushroom trips, that's fine. You can get your advice and your teachings and all that from whoever you choose. I have nothing to say about that. I'm just saying that I'm here to offer what I see from my experiences and my teachings that I've been exposed to. And I'm making these things clear because I'm starting to see what's going on around here. So, am I teaching? Nope. No, not right now. I'm not. I'm sharing information. Okay? When I went to the military, I would rather listen to a veteran who went to 3 wars and experienced what I'm about to experience than I would somebody who said, oh yeah, I just joined, 2 years ago and here's my information. That's cool, but I'm about to be where you at. And I've seen people who have come into the military and have outranked people who have been in the military for 2 to 3 years because the attention that those people had was on the wrong things. So with that being said, I'm offering information, take it or leave it. So when you seek out the healing, the growth and development, and the spirituality from utilizing psilocybin mushrooms, I'm coming to give advice dealing with those things. And so what I've seen is people will come and will go on their mushroom journeys or their ayahuasca or their wachuma, and they will return back to their regular scheduled lives. And they will return to being around the people they were around and practicing the things that they were practicing, and they don't do proper integration. So what they lose is they lose the remembrance of the depth that the trip took them through, right? I had an individual who did Bufo, and they came back and they reported just like, what everybody else reports, the greatness and the clarity and the love and the this and the that. And it was like, oh yeah, they were there. And, they chose to not do integration after that. And I talked to them a couple months later and was like, yo, so how do you feel? And how do you, and they were like, man, I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember none of it. You don't, what do you mean? Well, I mean, I know I went somewhere and it was like, I remember like when I came back, it was great, but I don't, it's like, damn. And this is what we're talking about. She found the buried treasure, and then she buried it back and went on about her daily life. This is what happens without integration. This is why integration is very important. And to individuals who are interested in integration, I would advise you to look up the Condor approach. They're on Facebook. I went and took their program 5 times, I think. I'm a master integration coach. I would advise you, and you don't have to come and become an integration coach, but I would advise you to tap in to the videos that they are providing that is speaking about integration, the proper ways to integrate, and a whole lot of other modalities that will assist you in your life, on your travels, and in your walks. So that is, would you rebury your treasure? If you'll go on a sacred plant journey and come back and not do proper integration, that is exactly what you're doing. Now, part 2 of the discussion that we are having is something that I did a video speaking about spiritual security clearances. If you've not seen it, go on to YouTube, subscribe to the Psychonaut Academy Detroit, the PAD page, and the videos are all there. And you can go and watch it, right? But this conversation, okay, and this conversation has been coming up quite a bit with different people that I've been talking to around basically the dosages. The dosages that we're taking. And now it's, Baba Kalinde, um, he was awesome. And he's a legend. And he's known all over this world. And his teachings and things like that are on, the web, the World Wide Web, right? And so with this entheogenic explosion that we've had in 2020, we've had a lot of individuals who have become aware of high gram mushroom journeys, and has created a idea that the goal is to get to a high amount. And so we have people that'll come in and do 3 grams, and then they'll do 10 grams, and then they'll do 20 grams, and then they're doing 100 grams, and I've heard stories. And so I just wanted to come and share some information that I've gathered over my years of experience as well as teachings. And that is that getting to a high gram mushroom journey is not the idea that was trying to be put forth by my master teacher, Baba Kalinde. Baba Kalinde was informing individuals of the false ideologies that went into high ground mushroom journeys, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that there's now an idea that the higher you go, the more access you have to information. All right, well, here I go. I'm going to say that that's false. And I'm going to say this, that the idea, now watch this. If this is not your idea, and your idea is to see how many grams you could take, then we have different ideas. So let me tell you my idea and how I walk in my practices over the last 15 years plus. When I took my first trip, 7 grams, it cured my post-traumatic stress disorder that I had coming from the military. And after that, it was such a amazing experience that I didn't understand what was going on. And so in my human design, I'm a 1-3, so I'm an investigative martyr. So I was like, I got to investigate this. And I started going in probably every 2, 2 to 3 weeks on average, right? And after I would come out, I would just be trying to understand and go back in, and come out and try and understand and go back in. And I did this for quite a long time. And then speaking to Baba, he was like, all right, go higher. All right. And I started going higher. Now, when I went into a higher mushroom gram journey, and I would come out and try to understand what it is that I seen, what it is I experienced, and what the information was giving me. Then I would go back to my base amount, which was 7. 7 is my base amount. Okay? So what I'm saying is, under 7, as I teach, you're not removing the veil. Anything under 7 and you're still terrestrial, you're still in your own form of consciousness, what they refer to in the community, in the psychedelic community, as ego death, in the entheogenic community, because to me those are 2 separate things. In the entheogenic community, we refer to it as beyond the veil. So the idea of an ego death is going beyond the veil. And what we're saying is that the consciousness of the self, the limitation, which is created by the thought, we have surpassed that. So I'm not going to think myself back into. This is why you can do, listen, lower gram mushroom journeys are good for mirror magic, are good for the self, are good for your courage, all of these things within the self, your character, that if you want to deal with character growth and development, that's what I tell people and teach and supply people with their different practices. Under 7 grams, over 7 grams, 7 and over, this is beyond the veil. So now we're not dealing with how I feel, my emotions, my thoughts, my anything belonging to me. That's why in the psychedelic community, they call it ego death. You want to get past ego death or beyond the veil. How I perceive things. I always teach that we talk about altered states of consciousness. I've been dealing with altered states of consciousness for a long time. So now I teach my students that when you are under, when you're 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 grams, this is a alteration of perception. An altered state of perception, the way that you perceive things. Whoever you are, The way you perceive things, you are altering those perceptions within those gram range. When you get to 7 grams, it doesn't care who you are. You don't care, sometimes even know who you are. That's where you want to be, because now you're going beyond the veil that's been given to us as what I might refer to as human beings. Spiritual entities going through a human being experience. You have to be given a veil. Now, a lot of us through our lives learn that we got cheat codes. We can go beyond the veil of this human experience and see our spiritual things. We can go back and forth in time. We can go into the ancestral realms, the celestial realms, the cosmic realms. All of these are different realms with the usage of plant and fungi medicine. So understand you're going beyond the veil. So once you get beyond the veil, or once you get out of space, and we're going to compare astronauts and psychonauts. So psychonaut training and astronaut training. This is where you're in the machine that makes it like there's no gravity, even though there really is. Okay, well, you're on 3 grams and it seems like I have nothing, or I'm altered states of perception. When you actually become an astronaut and go into space, okay, a psychonaut goes beyond the veil. So you can do a lot of training as a psychonaut with things like changa and sassafras. Just there's other modalities that you'll stay within these realms, just like you could stay within the realms of space as an astronaut. I'm a training astronaut. No, I haven't been in outer space yet, but I've been training. Have you ever seen zero gravity? I have, right? Same thing as a psychonaut. But once you go beyond the veil, it's kind of like going to outer space. Okay? Now, there's a space station. This is the base in this conversation that I'm using. Okay? When you go into space, there's an International Space Station. And you can land there and you can go in and speak to whoever's out there, the Russian and the Chinese and the US, and it's a base, right? Now, you can leave from the space station and come back into the realms of Earth, or you can go on and beyond to the moon, or to Mars, or to Jupiter. That space station, for the clients that come through me in the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit and the people that I teach, is 7 grams. You're going beyond the veil, but you have a safe space to come and return to, that you're still operating in outer space, but you're not beyond into spaces that you know nothing about. I tell people, go on 3 7-gram trips. So the first trip is nothing more than an introduction to the actual realms. Do you think you're going to learn a whole lot and bring stuff back? Probably not in the first trip. You're going to experience a whole lot. You're going to realize a whole lot, and you'll probably go through a lot of healing. Okay? That's the first time. The second time is your familiarity. Oh my goodness, I've been here before. That shit was intense. Now, if you already went through some healing, guess what? You don't have to go through that same healing. Now, if you've came into the realms of this through plant medicine and animal medicine, a lot of people have already had their healing before they go in on 7 grams. If you've done ayahuasca, then once you get into the mushroom realm, it's going to be different for you than a person who has not had this experience yet. Okay? So, when you get the 7 grams the first time, this is introduction to these realms. This is introduction to how you experience altered states of consciousness, not perception, consciousness. Okay? This is your introduction to going beyond the veil. The second time is familiarity. It's familiar. I've been here before. This is what I'm experiencing. And then whatever you get from that, you know what I'm saying, and bring back, you integrate that. The third time is initiation. The third time is initiation. And usually that third time is where people come and like, oh, I got to talk to some other psychonauts because now I know what they're talking about. This is all, we still in the beginning stages, y'all. Remember, we talking about high gram dosages and security clearances. If you took 7 grams, then you took 15 grams, and you took 30 grams, you wasn't getting 30 grams of information. I don't care. You was having 30 grams of experience, but what did you bring back? Outside of what was that? That was intense. Or, some people have some very intense experiences. I'm not saying you're not going to experience anything. I would not say that. That's not what I'm saying. We're talking about spiritual security clearances. What are you able to bring back? This is the point. This is the idea. What are you bringing back? If you are somebody who is suffering from depression or suffering from, cluster headaches, suffering from PTSD, from sexual violations, from being abandoned, anything like that, and you are using the fungi medicine for healing, that's understandable. Remember, when you watch Doctor Strange, they talk about people who come for their healing, and once they get it, they go on about their life. I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking to psychonauts. I'm talking to individuals who are self-proclaimed psychonauts and are taking the path of utilizing the sacred fungi, organic technologies, in a way to go into other realms and get information, get teachings, get tools, get weapons, get martial arts, get songs, ikaros, all of these different things. I'm talking to these people. And I want to bring their awareness that you're not racing to a high amount. A lot of you are wasting time as well as organic technologies. That 21 grams you took, you probably could have just took 3 7-gram trips and brought back more information than you did jumping to 21 grams because that's how so-and-so did it. Understand that individuals like Baba Kalinde and even myself and people coming behind him who were students of his, we did not go from 1 7-gram or 5-gram to 20 and 30 and 40 grams. This is done through years. Why? Because we're not racing. We're going in to get information. We're going in to get teachings. We're going in to make connections. We're going in to network. That's the point. So I want you all to just be a little bit more diligent if you choose, because I'm not teaching, I'm sharing. If you choose to actually create a security clearance, this is somebody who has shamanistic abilities. I have went into the future and seen the future and reported it back, and the future happened exactly as reported. This is an individual who has went in the past and seen people's lives and things that have happened in their lives and brought back what they thought and what it wasn't, and they confirm. I've gone and listen. So I'm saying that to the people who are literally trying to find their gifts, their abilities, and their powers, you don't do it by jumping from 5 to 7 to 20 to 30. You're not going to get them. You're not going to get them. If you've been in this game less than a year or two and you're already in 20, 30 gram, I'm saying that from my point of view, I invite you to look at another route or way to accomplish what you're saying you're trying to accomplish. And if you don't have no route because all you have heard was people talking about how they go on these high gram journeys, I'm offering one now. Okay? So back to what I said. 7 grams 3 times by yourself. If you start off on 7 grams and you start out at the Psychonaut Academy Detroit and I gatekeep that I trip sit for you, don't count that one. Don't count those 2. When you go amongst yourself and do a 7-gram mushroom journey by yourself, that is your first. Now, I ain't saying you ain't beyond the veil in those other ones. I'm saying that when you start to try to create your security clearance, you want to create a firm foundation for within yourself. And I'm giving you an understanding on how to do that. Go on 3 by yourself. Then go up to 9, or if you want to skip directly to 12, so be it. I wouldn't advise it. I would say go to 9. Now, after your 9-gram mushroom journey, do your integration. Get your 1-week integration workbook from the Condor Approach. You can get them on Amazon now. Or you can do a 1-month integration. It depends. Some people are really hyped and amped about this, like I was when I first started, and will find themselves going in every 2 or 3 weeks. If that's the case, get you a 1-week integration workbook. But if you are one of those people that can take that time and do a 1-month integration after each trip, then get you a 1-month integration workbook and do your integration. Now, you did your 3 sevens, then you did your 9. Come back to 7. Come back to 7. Do it again. Now, after you do that 7, I'd advise you go in on the 9 again. Yeah. Now, when you go up, I always advise to go back to 7 and then go back to the dose that you just went up to. Because remember, the first one is introduction. So if I was giving students of mine a graph to follow, it would be 3 sevens, then go up to 9 once, go back to 7 once, go to 9 again, back to 7, then go to 9 again, back to 7, then go up to 12. After 12, go back to 7. Next trip, 12 again. Go back to 7. Next trip, 12 again. Then go back to 7. You're initiated. Now you can go up to 18, 20. See? Y'all see what I'm saying here? A lot of people are just taking what we're hearing in this community and running in. Let me tell you what you're not doing. You're not creating a spiritual security clearance. You're not. So, I mean, that's why now when I have conversations, I don't even, it used to be a talk like, yo, what's your highest gram? Oh, okay. Well, when you plan on, nah, because I'm seeing now that it's creating the wrong idea out here. And the people that we could have coming back as some solidified psychonauts that are bringing back information, bringing back magic, they're missing it all. Because they're not even being initiated into what they're doing. They're just doing stuff. And I'm not knocking nobody. You do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, if you want to go in and get gifts and abilities, it's 5 levels of consciousness. Consciousness, subconsciousness, magnetic consciousness, super consciousness, and infinite consciousness. Most people are walking around in the first state. Conscious. I'm conscious. I'm conscious. I'm conscious. I'm part of the conscious community. I'm woke. I like to go to sleep. See? I like to go to sleep. Put all this conscious shit down. Let your spirit take over. See? So you got your subconscious, which is basically like your backup. Your subconscious is picking up more shit than your consciousness is. Because your conscious your consciousness is led by your ego. Let me just be clear. Mine too. Okay? So your consciousness is led by your ego. Your subconsciousness got your back. It's like I'm picking up shit you ain't even seeing. And when you tap into me, you can get some of these things that you're not paying attention to because your ego got you paying attention to the girl in the red dress. Your magnetic consciousness, well, this is like where people who have kind of starting to awaken into their powers be like, damn, when I be thinking about somebody, they call me. I was just thinking about you. Every time I call somebody, they tell me I was just thinking about you. This is senders and receivers of magnetic consciousness. If you're a sender, that means if you think about somebody, you can sit there and just think about somebody. That person will feel you thinking about them. You're a sender. Some people are receivers. That means that when they start thinking about you, you think about them. Some people are both. Anyway, this is all operating within the magnetic consciousness. Not your consciousness, not your subconsciousness. It's magnetic. You see what I'm saying? The super consciousness, This is what we refer to when we're talking about bringing back your gifts and your abilities. To tap into your super consciousness, you have to have practices. Going from 7 grams to 10 grams to 20 grams is not a practice. You're just doing shit. But if you want to actually tap in and be able to be a prophet, to time travel, to space travel, to biolocate, to become luminescent, to be able to heal with hands-on contact, to be able to speak other entities into your space, this takes practices. This takes spiritual security clearances, and this is how you gain them. This is how you gain them. You don't end up in 20-gram range in the first year or two. You're not practicing anything. You're just doing things. And I'm not saying this to diss nobody or call nobody out. What I'm doing is I'm seeing what's going on in the community. I'm just trying to give a little advice. See, the difference is that some of us who've been in the community, you know, they have a more laid back way about them. And they could care less, and they're not finna argue with you, and they're not finna do all. I'm like, I will. I talk that shit. Rico, what up, my baby? You know what I'm saying? I'm not bothered by confrontation or people's hurt feelings. Remember, I'm prior service military. I care about you. So you could be mad at me all you want. I'm still gonna tell you the truth. Some people be like, oh, well, fuck them. I ain't finna tell them shit. If they don't like that, then don't. You know what I mean? Me, I'm like, yo, fuck that. You still gonna get this work. Now, whether you choose to listen or not, that's on you. But I'm gonna offer it, and I'm gonna speak on what I'm seeing and why things could be different should people choose to be different. You don't want to be different, don't be different. Do like everybody else. Do 7 grams, do 20 grams, do 40 grams, and have nothing to talk about. Because that's the thing is, when you get these security clearances, you know what I said peace too. You know what I mean? What you want? You know what I mean? Peace, Rico. What you want? So, again, I'm speaking to the individuals who are psychonauts, who are, because listen, this is what I've been having is people telling me like, yo, I'm trying to go in and get the information and get the gifts and get the abilities. And I'm going, oh, well, that's why you're not getting them. I know you went up to those high gram ranges, but that's not how you gain them. You gain them with the relationship with one, the mushroom, and then two, the relationship with where you are going. The first time you go, listen, the first day of any school class, do you learn? Whatever class you take, when you go in, the first day of class, is that where they drop all the jewels on you? Is that where you learn everything? Like, you might learn some introductions to things. So if you go in on an altered state of consciousness, you'll get an introduction to the altered state of consciousness. And then you leave and you never came back. Then you went to another higher gram. You got introduced to that. And then you left. And then, why are you not continuing anything? You're not going to bring back anything. Okay? So that's what I'm offering to you all. That's what I'm trying to give to you all through this conversation. Okay? Have a practice. 3 times is an initiation. 3 times. And really, after that, now you can go in there and get comfortable in that realm. And that's where you really be able to go in and glean and get shit. You comfortable in that realm. Not like, oh, the 3rd time I'm initiated, okay, I can go higher. Yes, you can. But for me, now I'm going in like, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. Oh, I'm comfortable in here now. I can move around. I can operate. I can bring this shit back and take it to other people who are initiating these teachings and share this shit with them. Okay? Then, now that I'm ready to go a little higher. Go in 3 times on that dose. So if you follow what I'm saying, if this is the case, it's not really going to be too many situations where you're your first year or 2 in and you're at 20 to 30 grams. Not by my math. So if you really want to go and create your super abilities, tap into your super consciousness. Oh, what is the infinite consciousness? All right, so dig. when you tap into your super consciousness, you become a legend. Stories are told about you. When you tap into infinite consciousness, religions are created around you. So the infinite consciousness, when you touch that, man, that's like, you know what I mean, Buddha. You know what I'm saying? Individuals who's like, I think I've taught all that I've taught, and I think I've given you all that I've given you, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop this body, and I'm gonna go ahead and ascend. And then they drop their physical body, and then their spirit come out and they ascend to the heavens, like, right? That's infinite consciousness. When you tap into infinite consciousness, this religions are made around people who tap into that. So, getting to super consciousness, that's where like you become legends in your community, in your city, your state, whatever. Like that's why I tell people like, I don't need to argue and go back and forth with people because like I'm like my like the stories are here. I don't need to promote and to do and to, you know what I'm saying? All because like when you have created a relationship with these realms and you're giving your gifts and your abilities, people see them who walk with you. So it's like there is no more doubt. We've heard you speak. We've seen you do this. We've seen you do that. We've seen you, you know what I'm saying, do all of these things. And so, like, that's what creates the stories and the talks around you. This is how you end up in the paper, how you end up on TV, how you end up on stages and things of this nature. But let me be clear. That's from people who are witnessing you from their consciousness. That's it. That's why my ego doesn't get caught up in those things. I use them as an example to understand what comes from gaining a relationship with these sacred plant teachers, with these sacred fungi teachers, with these sacred animal teachers. Not utilizing and just doing things, but gaining relationships to where they start to give you gifts and abilities. They start to give you visions. They start to give you powers. We don't have these. They come through us as a vessel. Why? Because we tapped into them, those, their, the. Okay? That's what I want to leave y'all with. Now, the last thing that I put into the description of this video was light languages. There's been conversations about language and the human language, and it's limited, and don't say good morning, say grand rising, and all of this other stuff, and people talking about English being a bastard language and all of this. Well, somebody said, man, I know there's like a divine language that supersedes all of that. And we were talking, and I was like, yeah, light language. And they was like, wait, what are you talking about? What's that? And so I was like, yo, let me drop this on, you know what I'm saying, to people that might be tapping in and tuning in. So in my history of taking in a lot of people through their first mushroom journeys, being a gatekeeper and a trip sitter for 15 years plus at the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit before it was even called the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit. I had individuals that used to drive into Michigan from Ohio on Wednesdays at 4 a.m. in the morning to have mushroom classes. Like, we've been doing quite a few things for quite a while is what I'm trying to say, right? So I just wanted to throw that shout out to those who know. But in my experiences, early on, I was like, what is this? Because a lot of the women would go into their trips, and when they got there, they would start speaking an unknown language to me. 15 years ago, I was hearing light language come out of clients that was in on their trips. Let me be clear. I have never been given access to the light language. I don't speak it, and I don't know it. But what I do have is history with being the individual who gatekeeped or tripset for quite a few women and some men who have went in on their 7-gram trips, and while they were in there, started speaking this angelic language. Early on, I thought that it was an ancestral tongue that was being spoken. Like, okay, they're tapping into some ancestors, and that was some type of language, so whatever. But then, as more and more and more, because approximately 20 to 30% of people that I gatekeep for and tripsit for come back with this language. So if y'all think about those numbers, that's like 1 out of 3 people. So every time I take 3 people, the third one comes back with this language. So I'm starting to like, yo, what the? Now in the Psychonaut Academy in Detroit, when we get together, you'll have like a grand room of people, and then the people who speak the light language, somebody will just say something, and instantly everybody who speaks that light language will tap in and tune in and start responding. And these people will just end up in a circle by themselves going on. I'm talking about full-fledged conversations, 30, 40 minutes in a light language that nobody understands. And what I said, that I'm saying the people speaking that language, they're not, it's like this. If I said, all right, what did you just say to her? It's not something that they can turn around and translate back like, oh, I asked her about da-da-da-da-da. No, they are in another realm. They're consciously here. But when they tap into the light language, this is an angelic language that they're speaking to each other's spirit and soul. I have never heard anybody who's speaking the light language say what they just said was this, because they don't translate it to the physical. It's like they are given a security clearance that gives them access to be able to hear and speak this light language to each other, and they're speaking to each other's souls. Their souls. Their souls are speaking. It's kind of like they've taken off the glamour that we have that gives us the ability to speak English or whatever language we speak. And it's beyond that. It's beyond the veil. This language is from beyond the veil. And so I just wanted to speak on that to individuals who might have experienced that, because a lot of people who go through on their own trips, they'll come back and be thinking that, oh my goodness, I don't know what this is I was saying, but I was, I don't know what. Trust me, you didn't have to. And I just want to let you know, there's a community of people who speak that language. And when y'all come together, y'all speak that language. It's called the light language. And there's quite a few people that, and if you're wondering about this, tap in with me and I'll connect you with people that I know who speak the light language, and get on a call with them. They'll take you further than this. I'm not going to teach about it and how and what and all of that, because again, I don't have access to it. I move under the energy of Papa Legba, back and forth from one level to another, from one realm to another. So I take people into certain realms and they're given things and then come back over. I might not have it myself. You know what I'm saying? Just because that don't mean nothing. I've been given the gifts and abilities that I have. Mine are different than other people's. Like the Psychonaut Academy in Detroit is like X-Men, Professor X in the school. Like, I don't have all the mutants' abilities, but I can tell you what your abilities are. I can tell you how to use them. I can tell you how to exercise them, how to use caution when. See, that's kind of what I do. But that don't mean I have access to everything. So this conversation, I'm giving you all information about the light language, even though I don't have access to it. I just want to make it aware to you all who are psychonauts and have gleaned this language and think that maybe you just no. Oh no. Get with the community who speaks the light language, and you all speak to each other, because you're speaking to each other's souls. There's things that's going on when you all are speaking the light language to each other that we have not even fully begun to understand, including the people who speak the light language. Okay? So I just wanted to come and just share that with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about, would you rebury your treasure? and the importance of integration. I wanted to talk about the dosages and how to actually gain security clearances in the spiritual realms. Because I'm seeing that there's a lot of people going in on a lot of high gram dosages, and that's all they have is the story that they went on a high. Like, I'm saying like this: if you all have the capacity to do 20, 30, 40 grams, excellent, good. We need y'all. But please, by all means, do some practices, gain your security clearances, so that when you do go in on these high gram journeys, you're able to bring back the information, the gifts, the abilities, the powers, the tools, the weapons, because that's what my master teacher Baba Kalinde did. You know what I'm saying? He worked his way through, and he brought back things for us to, he brought back knowledge. He brought back prophecies. He brought back martial arts. He brought back teachings. He brought things back. That's why he's a legend, y'all. Not because he took 44 grams. That don't make you a legend. It don't make you anything except for a person who took 44 grams. But do you have 44 gram security clearance? Because it's like saying I went to the White House. Like, I went to the White House. All right, did you get past the fence? Because, like, you can take the trip, but that doesn't mean you got into the White House. Were you invited in? You know what I'm saying? Did you actually go in? And that's what these are all about. Getting into these realms. Not taking the amount that takes you to these realms, but going into these realms, y'all. Come on, there's no race. Nobody, you're not going to become as big or as powerful or as known as Baba by doing the same amounts he took. You're just going to be somebody who took high amounts. But I guarantee you this: if you work your way through these amounts and you gain a relationship with these entheogens, they will bless you. You will get your gifts. You'll get your abilities. You'll get your yin and Jews. You'll get all of those things that you want and desire. But you don't get them by just jumping into the entheogenic and the psychonaut realm and just being like, oh, I took 20, I took 30, I took 40. Work, y'all, and get gifted. That's all. I'm trying to tell y'all how to get your gifts. For real, that's it. I don't care if you want to take 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100. Like, I've heard all of the stories. I have people who rush up to me and want to tell me about their high gram journeys. And I'm going, that's what's up. But they have no information. They have not brought back nothing from these realms. And let me also speak about one last thing. Terrestrial magic and extraterrestrial magic. Terrestrial magic is induced by terrestrial beings and terrestrial things. So when we talk about ayahuasca, and we talk about peyote, and we talk about the bufo toad, and we talk about iboga, all of these are terrestrial. They're terrestrial. There's limitations to them. Mushrooms are extraterrestrial. There are no limitations. So, I've heard of people trying to glean information through other different realms through the usage of terrestrial medicines. I just want to make you all aware, if you're not aware, psilocybin mushrooms are extraterrestrial. So this is how you tap into the extraterrestrial information, tools, places, all of this. The rest of those things, that's why all of the rest of those things I named are great for healing. Because, like, the traumas and dramas that we went through happened on the terrestrial plane. So the medicines that the earth gives us for these traumas, dramas, and different, things that we go through, they were built for healing. They were built for our traveling. They were built for heart opening. All of these are from the same places. The mushrooms are extraterrestrial, and therefore their limitation is not, they don't have the limitation that we have from terrestrial things. Just wanted to share that with you as well. So that might give you an understanding on why you can use mushrooms differently than we use all of the rest of those things that I just named. Because is there anything that I just named that you don't have a limitation to use? Would you do 20 cups of ayahuasca? I would not advise you to. Would you do, you know what I'm saying, 4 pounds of peyote? I would not advise you to. You know what I'm saying? But the mushrooms, they don't have a limitation. But you do. Learn to not. And to not, you have to do practices. You understand? And the more practice you put into it, and the more information that you get from each one of those levels, then the more prepared you are to go to the next. A lot of people are going into the 20 and 30 gram range, and they haven't even been given their protection tools yet. Because how do you think you get your protection tools? By gaining a relationship with the amounts that you are going in on. And then when you go in and then it gives you these things, you're recognizing them. You can understand them. You can bring them back, start to activate them, receive them, bring them to you in the physical realm. All of this. So if you're skipping these steps because nobody's going to hold your hand or tell you what you can't do. That's the whole point. A lot of y'all missing it. Like, you ain't got nobody who's going to tell you not to do that. So you'll just be doing stuff and not knowing why you're not being given, why you're not being rewarded, why you're not being gifted. I'm telling you now. So I appreciate y'all tapping in, tuning in. You know what I mean? I be trying to keep them under an hour now, y'all. You know, like my videos was getting long. They was full featured movies and shit. And I was like, yo, stick to the point. So I've been trying to stick to the point a little bit more. So I appreciate y'all tapping in. Does anybody share this video, first of all, please? Because, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of, you know, opinionated relationship, blah, 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 blah. So I feel like this is a good one to share. And do I have any questions or comments or concerns about anything that I might not have spoke on? You know, I'm on StreamYard, and so I guess one of my page's comments don't come through. So if you made a comment and I have not responded to it, then that page must not be linked to the StreamYard comments. But if anybody has a question, comment, or concern that I have not spoken about, or even if it's about anything else, you know, now's the time. 57 minutes. I got 3 minutes to spare before I go ahead and pull the end to this. I will contact you about something, bro. Okay. It says Facebook user, doesn't say the names, but whoever you are, for sure, holla at me. For sure. But yeah, anybody got anything, a question, comment, or concern that they want me to address, you know, right here on the live? You know, I've enjoyed these videos. I've enjoyed keeping them on point, like knowing what I'm gonna talk about, letting y'all know, and getting on and talking about that, because it's just been bringing a lot more clarity as compared to me just talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and the people who really want to know about these things have not been able to tap in or tune in because they didn't know I was talking about it during that video. So I got to say thank y'all to those who, you know, requested that I put some formulation to my videos, and those who have let me know that y'all like tapping in, that y'all like my delivery, y'all like my demeanor, y'all ain't bothered by it. Y'all motivate me, because, you know, these people be coming to hate, and I be like, well, just leave. Just block me. But when y'all come to tell me, fuck them soft motherfuckers, we love you, that shit mean everything to my heart, and I love y'all back. You feel me? Everybody ain't for everybody, you know. I'm not for the soft trigger people. Like, that's clear. Like, I always tell people that when people meet me in the realms of medicine work and healing, and they like, oh, I'm gonna add you on Facebook. I'd be like, yeah, all right, but don't get caught up in the, you know, in the scrolls, because, you know, I'm opinionated. I talk my shit. Don't argue with me. Don't need to do that. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? But don't come at me with no disrespect, because then I'm gonna fuck around and flush you. I ain't scared of controversy. I'm a silly motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Prior service military. I went to Central High School, drive by hot. I came up getting roasted. If you can't, what they say, if you can't stand the heat, don't go in the kitchen. So if you start some shit with me, be prepared to go all the way. Cause I'm a come. Like, for me, it's not like I hate you. It's like, oh, that's how you want to do. All right, let's do it. Like, oh, okay, well, your mama's so fast she jumped in the air and got stuck. Don't now start talking about my mama dead and shit. Like, come on, man. Now you know I don't even know your mama, man. Like, I ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Don't run up no tree if you can't climb trees. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna chase your ass the rest of the way up, and then I'm gonna want to jump out that motherfucker, and then you gonna be mad at me because I play too much. Well, leave me the hell alone. But anyway, I love y'all, man. I love y'all who love me and know that my heart is always good. And I don't mean no negative or no bad intention to nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm a healer and a protector of my environment. Everybody know that. So if you feel like, you know what I'm saying, the way I talk turns you off, you know what I'm saying, you have the choice to not listen to me. But those who love me know I'm only here for y'all's well-being, and I love y'all, and I protect y'all with the same damn aggression. I love y'all, and tell somebody you love them in the language they can understand it in. Peace.